All right, welcome in to another episode of the Glue Guys. I'm Landen Lucas. That's Richard Lucas, and we have another one for you today. We have some good guests on our show. We're gonna try to keep it a little shorter, do our best to at least, but we might get to rambling a little bit, but we'll try a little bit. And our guest today, we have Jamari Traylor on first. And then later on, I don't know if you knew that we did this, but we, as the Glue Guys, decided that because there was bad weather and a game that wasn't sold out yet, let's go ahead and help the sellout. We purchased some tickets for some fans that wanted to go to the game that don't usually get to, and we sent, I think, 15 people to the game, and so that was fun. And we have a father and son coming on later to the show to tell us a little bit about their experience at the game. So that's our second guest from the
Awesome.
stand segment.
I love it. That's going to be fantastic. And yes, you don't have to run things by me. It's okay. I'm just one of the glue guys. But no, I think it's fantastic. Nice job.
No, it was an idea from Joe, who actually was our first. He does our set up our Twitter and stuff, and he did. And he was like, "Hey, what do you think of this idea?" I was like, "I love it. Let's make it happen." So anyways, let's get into things and just briefly go over that game, and then we'll go ahead and bring Jamari on. But Kansas beat George Mason 76-67. And the big story of the game, which I want to focus on, has to do with bigs, so we might as well just go there.
We love ourselves some bigs, baby.
And we have Jamari on, another big later, so it's perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
But the big story was I think Dave only got into the game for about 10 minutes, wasn't very productive, and then Mitch came in, played I think 20. And went 7 for 7, 14 points, had a great game. And then the news today is that there's a new starting five-man for the next game. And so, going into Big 12 play, I wanted to ask you, as a former coach, player as well, but, you spent some time in the coaching. And I wanted to know, how are you as a coach handling this situation where you have a guy coming off a great season, a great finish to the season, coming into the season, I'm sure with high expectations in his own minds and everybody else's minds.
Yeah.
Not off to a great start. Now you're going into league play. I'm sure he's tried, his tactics, saying things to the media, not playing him as much, whatever it may be. But it's come to a point where you're now, benching him to start the game and starting Mitch. What is your message like to Dave, and what is your message like to Mitch when you're letting them know and telling them what the situation is?
So that's a really good question, and I can tell you, first of all, congratulations to Mitch. I mean, if you think about it, he's been around a long time, right? And so anytime I can say that I sat in the stands next to somebody's parents, then that they've been there for a long time, because it's been a while since you've been there. So kudos to him for doing what he needs to do. And also, I think we need to make him an honorary Glue Guy. Because it really, first let's talk about Mitch in the sense that there's a reason why coach has decided to go this direction. And it's no different, in my opinion, or I should say no different, but it's probably very similar to the reason why the decisions were made to put you into that starting spot, when that happened, and I can't remember which year that was, but your junior year. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that, coach is pretty straightforward about what he expects. And so if you go out and just do what he expects, then you play. And, I was kind of being facetious about the glue guy part of it, but if you think about it, Mitch kind of does a lot of the things.
Yeah, he does,
right? That he's just so unselfish about the way he plays. The guy just balls out because he just loves playing and he plays hard. And I can tell you this one thing: no one ever can say that Mitch ever comes weak, right? Or that he's not bringing the lunch pail and going after it, because when he steps on the court, he gets after it. And he's done that from the very, very first time that he stepped foot in Allen Fieldhouse. So he's doing all the right things. My message to him would be, keep doing what you're doing, right? Just because you're starting, Mitch, and just because your name is going to be called out and you're going to be on the board, up the reader board and all that up top, doesn't mean that anything changes. We're not asking you to all of a sudden change your game. We're asking you to continue to do what has put you into this position. So keep doing what you're doing. So that would be my message to Mitch. If you come out and start screwing around, then your butt's gonna be back on the bench, right? Now, Dave, what do we say to him? In the sense that, this could be one of two messages that coach is doing, but I think he's leaning toward one, but I'll tell you both. One of them could be that Coach Self is truly believing in his heart of hearts that Mitch gives them the better chance to win. Because I've said in one of the podcasts before that we've done that Coach Self doesn't care. He doesn't care about stars behind your name. He don't care about anything. And I noticed that the very first time, and I've told this story before, very first time that I came to watch you as a true freshman, and it was a pre-season, it was a non-conference, not counting game, not even non-conference. It wasn't even a county, it was exhibition.
It was against Washburn.
It was against Washburn, and I'm sitting in the stands, and coaches coaching his butt off. And I'm thinking, normally coaches are going to try some different combinations and want to see a different, a few different things, play some young guys. Coach was like, yo, we are winning this game because Washburn kept it too close. So I realized right then and there that he don't care about anything other than winning, which is very, very important to him. So now, so back to the situation. It could be that he truly feels that Mitch gives him the best chance to win. Or this could be sending a message to the big fella, right? It could be that, hey, listen, we've given you chance after chance after chance, and now you've made it so that I've got to go to somebody else because you are not pulling your weight. You're not doing the things that we've asked for you to do. This happened once when I was in college. Myself back in 1905 with the Peach Basket. No, then we had a starting power forward in Keith Boulderston, and unbelievable player, played hard, all that stuff. But then all of a sudden he kind of got a little bit, I don't know, too big for your britches, whatever you want to call it, and started to slack off a little bit. And so Coach Munson, my coach at the time, decided, hey, I'm going to start somebody else in his spot. And so he was mad. He came off the bench about, I'd say 10, 12 minutes into the game, and he destroyed when he got into the game. He just killed it. And then it was starting again the next game. Yeah. So is it going to be that this is a semi-permanent kind of situation? Or is he saying, hey, listen, I'm going to sit you for this game, or at least not start you, and hope that lights a fire under his butt, and he comes back out and shows why there was so much speculation about him being and then, first round pick and all that stuff. I mean, the talent is still there. It's not like that went away. You don't just get bad overnight or over the course of a few months. So something's going on, and maybe this is the motivation that he needs.
Yeah. And I would say, I'd add another way that, he may be approaching it is, I understand, trying to mix it up and for motivation and all that stuff. But really, as you've always told me, it's not really who starts the game, it's who's in the game at the end. And so, yes. I would be looking at it like, hey, who's he going with at the end of the games and trying to work back into that first, more than anything, if I'm Dave, is making sure he trusts you at the end of the game, which he hasn't been, but gain that back and then worry about starting, because that's priority number one.
Yes.
Starting, he can mess around with that all he wants, but try to make sure that you earn his trust in important parts of the game, because that's when it matters the most. And I'm curious to ask Jamari about this a little bit, because he's been on both sides, and there are some benefits. Jamari was fantastic coming off the bench, bringing energy.
Yep.
And there are some benefits to, having a Mitch or somebody like that come off the bench and not starting the game, yes. And so that could be beneficial. And for Dave, for this next game, really trying to get different perspective, watch the game, get a feel for the game, get a feel for the refs, which was always something that if I wasn't starting, that's what I was trying to do, is figure out, hey, what kind of game is this? Is it a physical game? You know, are they calling every ticky-tack thing? Are they letting you play? And then also keep an eye on what the other bigs are doing, all that stuff. There's ways that you can benefit from not being in the game from, you know, the jump ball. And so I really see Coach using this as some motivation. I think he knows that the team's best chance of winning is with Dave because of what Dave showed last year. You know, when you have that kind of second half of the season that he had, where you're putting up, you know, 15-9 or whatever it was, you know that's in there somewhere. And he hasn't seen that from Mitch yet. And who knows, you know, if Mitch has that in. Mitch is a very solid player, but he knows what he can get from David. And he knows that that's what the team is ultimately going to need moving forward. So I see it as just motivation. I think that he's using all of his options. You know, he goes down the list. All right, let's try this, let's try that. Just hoping that one of these things clicks, and then he has that breakout game, and then is smooth sailing from there. But I hope that Dave is using this as some motivation and not being discouraged and going out there, which I'm sure he will, and playing, you know, his butt off and making sure that he, you know, is in there at the end of the game, end of the important games, which now league play is starting. Every game is pretty damn important.
Yeah, and everything, and you're absolutely right. And here's the thing is that you kind of touched on this. How Dave handles it is going to be so key to this. I mean, I think that if he thinks of this as truly a demotion, and thinks of this as in a negative way, that why blaming coach and blaming others, and then when he gets out there doesn't play very hard because he's like, man, forget this or whatever. I mean, if he looks at it negatively in that way, it's only going to compound things. It's only going to make it worse. Mm-hmm. But if he comes out and shows that, coach, you realize, right, I'm the best chance to win, right? Then this will be a blip, and he'll come back at it, and then he'll be able to look at it. And that's the other thing too, is that NBA teams don't need headaches. Mm-hmm. Too many good teams, too many good players, too many good players in the world. Mm-hmm. I don't need a prima donna. I don't need somebody who feels like there's an entitlement. I need somebody who's going to come out and just play and do as a professional, come do your thing. And so if he doesn't handle this in a proper way, that could hurt him when it comes time for that whole recruiting to the next level as well, the evaluation piece.
And to add on top of that, it could also help him because in this little audition that he's going through, he's showing that he can play from that role too, which, you know, especially early on, if, you know, in his career, that's going to be the role, is those limited minutes, come out, do your thing. Yeah. Not saying that he's going to be limited in this, but knowing that you can stay warm on the bench to start the game, come in and make immediate impacts, learn from what the game flow is and everything. That's important because that's the type of role he's actually going to be in. So more than anything, it could be used as a positive for that next step, after this season. But let's go ahead and get to Jamari. I don't want to go too long, and some of this is probably going to carry over into Jamari's talk anyways. So let's go ahead and bring Mari on and have a little bit of a chat with him. Before we move on to the next topic, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up already with Bet Rivers, now's the time because they are offering $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one play through to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With conference play right around the corner, be sure to get into action and go to betrivers.com today. By downloading BetRivers on the iOS app, you must be 21 years or older. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, what's up?
Yo, what's good?
How's it going, man?
Good, bro. I need to see everybody camera.
You can see us and hear us?
All right, now I see y'all. Yes, sir. Got it.
All right, man. What's up? Where are you at right now? Are you in Lawrence?
No, I'm in Chicago.
Okay.
Go back to career with it.
All right. Well, fill us in on what you've been up to. I know you left Kansas, played overseas some. What are you up to now, and what's been going on?
Recently I just got done in Japan, but I had like a knee surgery. I've been out getting back good. Now I'm back in shape, so I'm looking to join a G League team and head back overseas pretty soon. Basically what all I've been doing. I've just been working out. So I feel like in the next few weeks I'll make a decision on what I'm gonna do based on my opportunities and everything.
Man, the G League with all this stuff going on with COVID and stuff has been crazy with the NBA and the G League and all that stuff. My agent called me the other day, and I'm like, no, I'm chilling on the golf course now. But I mean,
yeah.
But I saw they're getting hit hard.
Yeah, for real though. A lot of people getting hit. A lot of people getting that COVID, but at the same time, a dude like me, it's the time to sneak in the league right now.
Perfect time.
Hey, so
get up in, man.
Hey, so Jamari, why is this the perfect time? What is it that a G League team is getting when you step on the court?
I just feel like I'm always gonna go hard, but I feel like as a professional, it was different. Like my time overseas has been a little bit different from my time back at Kansas. I've been like a 20-point scorer.
I see him pulling up for threes.
Yeah, hey, I'm telling you, like it's different. My role changed, so I feel like I add a different element as far as like being out there offensively for sure, but defensively, I'm always gonna be a guy. I feel like I'm be a lockdown defender. I can definitely be a guy you just put in, go guard a guy here. I'm gonna try my best to lock somebody up. So I know that's my motive for sure. So that's just and I feel like every team needs somebody like that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were just talking about this team, and I don't know how much you've been following this season, but there's this situation that has come up in the last game where Big Dave is getting benched now, and Mitch is getting his shot, and so
Yeah.
I had a question for you because you've been on both sides, starting, coming off the bench, and you've been productive on both sides. What would be the way that you approach this as Mitch and as Dave, and like, what do you see the benefits of starting, benefits of coming off? Like, what's your perspective on all that? Because I know you've seen both and you've played both roles well.
Yeah, I just want to say like these dudes are different type players. Mitch is a little bit smaller, a little more athletic. Dave more of a seal guy, bigger body. He kind of got the resemblance of you when I look at him. Like as far as
you got the same number,
the body type. Like he's got So I feel like their roles a little different, but I feel like Mitch knows what to do out there. I feel like he's been there for so long, and his recent success in these last few games is giving him momentum. I feel like he's always going out there, going to play hard. I actually like Mitch a lot when he's out there. That's my guy actually. But Dave, it's been having a few rough games. I feel like he just get a little sped up. Just gotta work, expect the ball. When the ball is coming, sometimes you get in there, fumble it a little bit. It's a little bit about you gotta always be prepared to catch it. And, I feel like that's a little something. You don't know if you're gonna get it or you're gonna, that's I feel like the timing of the hand, like little stuff like that, going up strong. He got to use his body a lot better. So I think Coach probably sent him a little message right now, especially too. So just on him to respond, bounce back. I feel like he can do it though. He don't seem, like a weak-minded kind of guy. So hopefully he can get out there, do his thing. I got some faith in my guys, so I'm looking to see him play well when he get back out there.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier about your time in Japan, and I don't know if you know my history out there, but it was I played out there for Japan Energy in the JBL. I don't even think they call it the JBL anymore, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
so,
I know. I always remember this dude Landen was in school, and he always used to practice Japanese and stuff. I used to always wonder why he did that. It made so much sense.
Yeah, that was me. Hey, listen, Jamari, I can tell you, I spent 3 years out there. Landon was 2 weeks old when we took him over there. So his passport photo is literally me holding his head because he couldn't even hold his head up. And we took him over to Japan. So he spent the first 3 years of his life in Japan. And, you know, you take him to a park or something, and he started playing with some of the other kids when he's, you know, 2.5, 3 years old. And some of the Japanese mothers would start talking to their child, and Landon's right there, and he starts doing exactly what they're doing. So I'm like, I think he might understand. He's picking it up. And so he didn't realize he wasn't Japanese until he was like 4 or 5 years old. He's like, yo, what's going on here? So anyway, I just wanted to, but I was going to just tell you that, you know, Japan's a great country. I loved the time that I was there. I was there for 3 years in Tokyo. So tell us about your time playing over there. Like, where were you, and, you know, what was the team makeup and stuff like that?
My team was in Hiroshima. It's 3 leagues. It's like 3 leagues that, like, you know, the same way college is. It's the D1, D2. So over there it's the B league. So it's B1, B2, B3. I started off playing in the second league. We ended up winning the championship and going to the top league. And then that year we was in the top league, we didn't do that good though. The success was not the same at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the year I ended up getting hurt, leaving the team and everything. So now I'm here trying to find, you know, a new opportunity to get back out there. I'm good. I've been, you know, working back. I got a chance to come back, catch some games. It's been all right, especially being back home. I'll say that's the difference from like being overseas, though. I really miss like these holidays, like Thanksgiving and, you know, Christmas, like real emotional times back home, like getting a chance to be home. I know you know that too. So being overseas.
Yeah. No, I love being home and being able to just watch the things at the right time. You know, football comes on, it's not 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, facts though.
Right.
So it's nice for sure. But I want to take this down memory lane a little bit, because I know you and I were a part of some big games and stuff at Kansas. But I want to know for you, what would you say was the biggest game that you remember playing at Kansas? And if it's not just one, maybe the biggest few that you remember.
I just want to say, like, man, when I think about like my biggest game, like some of the biggest games we was a part of, I know the game we was down in West Virginia. I think we was down like 18, came back. I think I ended up getting like a crazy dunk.
Oh yeah, you could have dumped that off to me. You could have gave me the little assist, but he went in. I was like, yo,
need that.
Give it.
What else? I'll say the game against Oklahoma. That was a good game. I made a couple good plays too. I think I had like a chase down block, something like that. Was a good. I feel like that was a huge game. Then what else? Part of the biggest game. Some of the best games I want to say I was a part of. I probably didn't even play though. That's the craziest thing. Like I remember the game Elijah dropped 39 against Iowa State. That was the craziest game probably I ever like seen. Like, but I didn't even play that much. So I probably played like 10 minutes. But that was one of my favorite games. So I'll say those was probably my most memorable games. I think.
The dunk that you had at Texas, man, they always go back and play that, but that was probably my favorite play that you made, because the whole bench, that game I remember too, because I think that was the same game where that crowd, they don't stand up until they scored, or they don't sit down until they score their first point.
We had them standing for a minute.
Almost to the second TV timeout. I mean, I think that it was like
in there. I'm telling you, we weren't playing with them.
It was like 17-0, and we had just I think we just got the #1 ranking, and Coach Self was like, go out there and show them, you know, and they were like 20th in the country or something. And their crowd was hyped. They had like Tory Lanez there performing.
Yeah, they had somebody there. It was like they senior night or something. I don't even remember though. I know it was something crazy for them though. Like it was something big for them. But I remember that too. We came out there. They were standing for a minute, Lando.
They were standing for like 2 TV timeouts.
We came in there with that mindset. We was so focused when we was going down there. Like it was a different intensity, I feel like, going on. We was diving on the floor. We out there foaming at the mouth out there playing.
And that dunk was just perfect because, you know, we was already ready to get hyped. And then you hit your head on the rim, we was going crazy.
Real though. Coach Self ain't let me have no fun though. He was knock it off. I was trying to turn up, you know. But.
So I can tell you, people love hearing the stories like this, but also I think people love to hear the stories that they may not have known about. Is there something that happened while you were at KU that was like off the court, like either on a trip or in the dorms or something that was kind of fun or a good story that you could
Yeah,
tell?
I'm trying to think of some stuff that ain't been said. I remember Nadir gave the Travis incident and the smoke alarms went off. That was in my room. I was a freshman too, so I was so scared though. Like everybody had a great time, but it's my room. It's not a good moment for me. Like the police come knocking on my door, and the fire people coming in like I don't know what to do, man. I damn near ran away and left my whole crib. Like, I didn't know what to do, man. So for everybody, it's a good. But at that time, not. So let me think. I'm trying to think of something fun we used to do. Didn't get in too much trouble. I can't say too much on it.
Right.
Hey, I've been to that. What's that club that we went to?
Oh, I took him to the Hawk. No, we took him to the Hawk. I took him to the Hawk, and then we went downstairs. I took him. It was him and a bunch of his like high school friends.
I think I remember that.
You remember? And they was taking shots.
Well, this is how old I am. I get downstairs, and I'm just worried about where are the emergency exits? How are they having all of these kids in here with no emergency exits?
It's like a little back door.
I know, but that's the first thing I thought.
That's like the only one though.
It was fun though. It was a good time.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think. I had some crazy nights at that home too. It's different though, because I remember like going into school early, like your first years, I was so excited to like get to the bars. I was like it was just so different from like getting right when you first get out of college. Then toward your junior, senior year, you ain't even trying to go in there like that. You chilling for real. You just trying.
What's it like
with a special occasion for sure?
Well, I got a question there. What's it like in Lawrence? Like, what's that city like for a Kansas basketball player? Just going around town.
Yeah, being in Lawrence was so different for me. Like as far as like being in Chicago, because I feel like walking around Chicago, like growing up, you always gotta like kind of like watch your back a little bit, like you gotta have like some kind of edge like in the streets, just like But when I was in Kansas, I feel like it was like a different kind of love for real. Like walk down the street, people honk their car at you, people wave at you. It's like night and day for real. So I say you always gonna get love wherever you at. Like a little restaurant or going out. People gonna recognize you. People definitely gonna show you some love for sure. Little kids it's always good to for when we had these camps interacting with kids. I mean, we did like some Special Olympic type stuff. That was always refreshing. I feel like as an athlete, they kept us involved in the community a little bit too. I really appreciate that part of stuff, like Christmas shopping and stuff. That's the kind of stuff I really appreciated. And going forward as a man, that's kind of stuff I just want to do on my own, in my own community. So I feel like that's the kind of stuff I take away from Kansas a lot too. I really appreciate stuff like that.
Well, I want to know after, G League, hopefully, some NBA time and whatnot, as we progress through our career, we start thinking, what's next? What kind of stuff are you into? So I'm asking you, have you given it any thought about what kind of stuff you want to get into post-basketball?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, especially like being hurt. Like it gave me a chance. It's so much stuff I want to do at the same time. It gave me a chance to like kind of set it up. I want to definitely have a chance to work with kids. Give them an opportunity, get them off the streets, give them something positive to do. Me and a couple of my friends actually now we're trying to get some grants rolling in so we can start some foundations and make some camps and stuff. Since I was home, I just had so much more free time. I feel like this stuff I want to do. I want to get into real estate as well. This is a lot of stuff. I low-key I want to go to school to start cooking. I want to do culinary school.
Culinary, all right.
I'm telling you. It's a lot of stuff. It's going into 2022. I'm telling you.
Damn.
I'm about to be cooking it up.
Okay.
So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm want to do.
Well, I know with the whole now that players can get paid, you have put out that tweet about all the stuff you would be taking advantage of.
Bro,
I know back in school you would have been making money all type. We would have been at practice. Mario would have been on his phone like, all right, I gotta do a commercial.
I would have been walking in there like, yo, what's up? Hey, coach.
All right, hey, we gonna set that up. I know you
definitely would try to give me a car, all that. Like, I see these dudes right now, man. I'm really definitely a little jealous right now because I see what they doing. I see one of the guys when they beat Texas, one of the football players. He had a deal at Applebee's. Yeah, he had a deal. Like he on commercials. Like it's different, man. Like I know I could have had something. Like
for sure.
Yeah, I need some of that. You too, for real.
I could have got a few things.
Yeah, like man.
I can tell you, it's crazy how far this has come because do you guys remember Steve Alford? Does that name sound familiar?
Well, I know Alford.
Steve, the coach. You know him as the coach.
Yeah.
Well, he played at Indiana with Bobby Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was one year where he was on a charity calendar. He was one of the months on a charity calendar.
He got in trouble?
Got in trouble for it. He didn't even make any money off of it, but he was just because he was part of it and it wasn't part of the NCAA. Because, again, the NCAA has had their clause, that's a whole different subject, but they had their clause on everything and just raking in all this cash and didn't care about any of the players, other than you get a scholarship and nothing else. And so I'm just so happy that they've opened this up. So
I just wish it was a few years ago, man.
I wish it was back in my day.
Like, at least give us 2 years of it.
Hey, we all wish we could get some of that.
Instead, they just gave us those little checks. They gave us the little check. That's it.
We should have held out. We should have said we ain't want it. For real.
Yeah,
we could have got some more. We could have got some more. We should have held out on them.
We were too happy about the little checks.
We was happy. I know I was in there. Hey, I logged in.
I'll cash this.
I logged in so quick. I told everybody. I told Nadir, Ben was thirsty. Everybody was thirsty to get that little check.
Oh man, well, it's nice having you on, and we'll let you go, but you're always welcome on the show and stuff. I know you may end up starting your own podcast and stuff sometime, and if you do, then have us on. Maybe we could chat some, but yeah, no, it's nice having you on, and moving forward, if you ever want to hop on and talk with anybody, just let me know.
All right, man. Thanks for having me, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, man.
Have a good one.
All right, y'all. Happy New Year, too.
You too.
All
right. Well, that was nice to catch up with Jamari. It's always nice to, have some of the guys I got a chance to play with, on here and stuff. So that's good to catch up with him, see where he's, what he's doing, what he's going to try to do in his community. I mean, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that question because, it's, as athletes, we often get caught up in a certain identity and people only know us in a certain way. But they don't realize that it's okay. We can also want to cook and we can also want to start foundations and we can also
that's
want to
awesome.
Do other things,
He wants to get into the cooking. That's awesome. And I mean, me, I music was something that I wanted to learn and get into and stuff. I started taking classes, learning producing and stuff. And and poker's been another, escape, golf and stuff, but you focus so much on basketball. And that seems like it's everything, and for most guys, it's hard to even spend too much time doing something else because basketball is your focus. But, as you get older and older, more time gets, allotted, especially once you, leave college and now you don't have classes or anything. You're a professional athlete. You got some time to just sit around. And it's like the first few years, you're like, all right, let me play video games and do all this stuff during the free time. And then I know, it starts clicking in your head. Okay, what's next? What else am I into? What else do I want to pursue? And, it's nice to hear that he's already thinking about that. And I'll tell you, the whole G League and stuff. I just called you the other day.
Yeah.
With my agent, he called me again today about a few teams that are just desperate. They were like, "Hey, can you be here by?" It was a fit in 2 days. And for me, I'm like, man, I was just on the golf course today.
You think they'll call me, or they're not that desperate?
If you put together a little highlight tape, do some mic in and stuff, they might.
Okay.
But
right.
No, you need to pick up golf. That's what you need to do. Work on it. Transition to a new sport, and that's one that you can still play and get better at. I think it's time.
Yeah, golf is boring.
Oh,
sorry.
So far from
it's so boring.
It's so far. I just came back today and had a blast before. I was rushing to get to this, but I had a blast. I actually look at what I did to this Nike ball. Can you see it right here?
Yeah. What happened?
That's just called power.
Are you sure that wasn't one of the defective ones that just?
Are you blaming Nike? Your wife?
Even Nike has a defective batch every once in a while.
Either way, I thought that was pretty cool that I ripped it.
Is that like ripping down the rim and having the
it's
shatter?
Almost exactly like shattering the rim. I mean, I would guess. Yes. I don't know. I don't follow.
I've done that, but.
I haven't. I've only had a screw come out. I had a screw come out. I was like, yes.
You're like, oh, yeah.
I broke it.
Look at the screw.
Oh, man.
That's the best.
All right. Well,
hey, before we get off.
We have one more guest, though. We got to bring
him. Okay. Then I'll
let's do one more guest, and then we'll
I'll do it. Okay.
So next we have the two people, the father-son that we sent to the game. So we're gonna go ahead and bring them on as our next guest. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us on.
Well, we just wanted to. We saw the great picture that you guys took, at Allen Fieldhouse. Maybe we could get that on the screen, but we just want to have you on to just talk about and hear your experience at the game and how it was. It was a close one, and it seemed like a fun one on TV.
It was closer than we thought it was going to be, for sure. George Mason was shooting the ball really well, and so no, we had a great time. Garrick, I mean, this is my son Garrick. He's 10. He's at 4th grade at Tonganoxie Elementary School, and loves basketball and the Jayhawks. So it was great to go. What was your favorite part of the part of the game?
Part of the game.
What was the favorite play?
When Christian Brown dunked it for like a buzzer beater.
Oh yeah, the halftime.
At the half, yeah.
That was pretty cool. We got there game was at 4. We got there at about 2:20 or so. That way we could get there early and walk around and see all the history. See the championship trophies. Mm-hmm. Just watch them up.
Have you been to a game before?
We've been to. This was probably our 3rd game. Okay. Yeah. We try to go, but our house is kind of crazy, and we have 4 kids, and so trying to get them all there is kind of tough. And but we've been to some before, but it's any chance we get though it's awesome to just go there and see them in person.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing there? Well, I mean, what all did you like seeing? And
I like there in the trophy case there was an inflated football, and I called it a Tom Brady football.
I love it.
Not like a 1950 football. He's like, hey, is that a Tom Brady football? Because it was inflated.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And it was great that KU had open parking. We parked in the parking garage, and so that was neat just to be right there. Then walked and got the tickets at will call, and everything went smooth and got right in. And it was just, I think there are a lot of people there kind of at the same, a lot of people who don't always get to go to games were at that game because of things that you guys did and the other season ticket holders. And so it was really, just cool experience. And we appreciate you guys doing that for us. A great way to ring in the new year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being there, it's like, obviously it's just packed. And some people, they don't like it when it's so packed because sometimes it can be shoulder to shoulder and all that. Did you enjoy that environment, or was it like, it's a little bit too much?
I like it. I enjoy the more people. That's fun. I've never taken my youngest son. He doesn't like all the loud noises. We went to a KU football game this year, and he said that was too loud. I was like,
okay.
Yeah, the field house might be a little bit louder.
Allen Fieldhouse is going to be a little too loud. I like the more people. That kind of gives it that energy and that intensity, and I think that's what makes it, Allen Fieldhouse. That's what has that Kansas magic.
Yeah, I mean, it's as a player being there, and you feel all those fans there, and all the energy and stuff. It's just injected into you, and I think that's why, keeping this sellout streak alive. I know there were some people that weren't able to make it because of the weather and stuff, but continuing to keep that tradition, keep that energy, no matter who we're playing, no matter if it's a replacement game or whatever it may be, is awesome. And you guys going and cheering them on, is so more helpful to the players than you could even imagine. So I'm glad you guys had a good time. It was really nice to have you on and talk to you guys a little bit. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of this new year.
Well, yeah, thanks again. We appreciate it, and it was cool to see that alumni band. I'd never been to a game where they had all the, because the students are out of town, so they had all the.
Oh, really?
And so it's like all these 30, 40, 50-year-old people in the band.
Hey, Dad, go ahead. Go
Hey, perfect. I just got to play an instrument.
Yeah, that might be a problem, but no, when we appreciate it, what you guys did. That was a really cool way to bring in the new year with my son, and it's cool for KU to really push for that too, and it's just cool to see former players still having that supporting the program, and just it's really fun. And we enjoy that as fans, seeing that too, and seeing what you guys are doing in the future, and seeing what you do after your basketball lives. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on today. It was nice officially meeting both of you, and it was nice to have you on.
Hey, thanks for having us. Take care. Rock Chalk.
Rock Chalk,
guys.
All right, see you.
All right. Well, another father and son. That was nice to get to chat with them a little bit. I know that we actually had a few father-son or families that got to go that we got tickets for. So, it's awesome. We like I said on that, as a player, I don't think the fans even understand the impact they make. I mean, in games, we feel that energy. If there's a few buckets, I remember there'd be times where we'd go through a lull, and the fans were smart enough to just be like, hey, it's time ramp it up. And as a player, you go from going through the motions to like, all right, it's time, let's get this thing done. And so it's always nice I forgot to mention it's our From the Stand segment but it's nice to have, people, on From the Stand segment and talk with them and get to know them a little bit more.
Yeah, I can tell you that is, I've always loved watching you play. But I can say that watching you play in Allen Fieldhouse was one of the highlights for me, anything to do with basketball, because that environment is so amazing. And those fans are just like he said, they just love you guys. And so so I miss that personally, being in the stands. So you sure you don't have any more eligibility, do you? You're all
I don't know. Now that Mitch is going 6 years, and
6, 7,
I can go ahead and say, hey,
just come on back with another one. Get that NIL money and come on back.
Oh my God, I would love that.
So anyway, I miss all that, but yeah, it was fun to meet this young family. So.
Yeah, well, we are wrapping it up now. This might be our quickest episode ever, so that's a positive. But any last word?
Well, yeah, because I need to go because I'm actually in the championship of one of my fantasy football leagues.
One of you just throw them out there and hope that one of them works? Because I know
what are you talking about? No, it's not the main league.
You almost finished last place in our main one, so
I didn't almost finish last place, but So it's not that one. I'm out. But who else is out? You are. But I'm in 2 leagues. And my other league, which I won last year,
You're going back to back.
Well, I'm in the finals right now. I just need Ronald Jones got hurt or whatever.
Okay, so
he gave me like 3 or 3.7 or something.
Yeah, not much.
And so I just need Nick Chubb to not score more than he's already scored 3.4.
Oh boy!
I need him to score less than 5.
Oh yeah, you're done. Anyway. So enjoy second place because unless something happens and he gets hurt or something,
you never know. The Steelers could. I mean, come on.
But this is, speaking of fantasy football, and we'll finish with this. But Kelly, my girlfriend Kelly, she won ours, and this will tell you a little bit about fantasy football. So you go through hundreds of mock drafts and all this stuff just to finish. What, third to last or whatever?
I was in 10th place, I think.
10th place, so pretty close to last.
Yes.
And she drafted based off of their names, going with everybody who had a starting letter of D.
Yes.
And ended up drafting probably one of the most dominant teams I've seen before.
Yes, she had almost 200 points.
Almost 200 points in a half-point PPR. And then last night needed 7 from Devontae Adams to win the game, and she got that with ease. Going into next year, I'm thinking I might just take a strategy like that instead of try anything else, because clearly these mock drafts and studying means 0 in fantasy football land. So
it doesn't mean 0. It's no different than about poker. Why are the pros not winning the World Series every year? It's just happening. Come on. You know what I want? I want her to try it again. Tell her to do, I don't know, the M's and see if the M's work or something like that.
It would be.
Come on. She tries it again. It's gonna be.
I have no doubt in my mind that she will try something again, because in her other league that we're in 2 leagues together, she drafted everyone with dreads. And
how did she do?
She finished dead last.
That's what I'm saying.
So she'll try.
She can try it all she wants, but that's not happening twice. But I will say, first time we've had a female manager win our league. So that's huge. She dominated. I beat her head to head, but she dominated most every week and won it. So congratulations to her, and the trophy's coming her way.
All right. Well, good luck. Hopefully Nick Chubb pulls an Antonio Brown and takes his shirt off and runs.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Could you imagine if you had Antonio Brown in your starting lineup during the championship of your fantasy football game, and all of a sudden you see him taking off his shirt
and done.
I'd be so mad.
I would be hot. It's like not injury. Even injury would make you mad, but just him just be like,
I'm over it. I wish that was a Sunday night or Monday night game, because the stories behind winning or losing because of that would have been nuts. But maybe Nick Chubb will pull that, and you'll be up.
You never know. I got a hold on. 5 more points. 5 points. That's it. The game just started. That's the problem.
His first carry was
pretty much. So you never know, man. Fantasy football is crazy.
It is. Well, good luck to you on that.
Thank you.
The Jayhawks are taking on Oklahoma State tomorrow, and then we will be back next week, and we'll recap the start to the Big 12. And who reached out to me was Mitch. So maybe we go and have the new starting center on and see a little bit about his thoughts and talk to Mitch. So looking forward to next week, and we'll maybe make that happen. So
sounds good.
All right. See you guys.